Let's talk about this story here from Newsweek. Emily Kors has harmed image of Trump Georgia probe, former prosecutor. Have you guys seen this woman? She was on the Trump grand jury for 8 months.
Oh my God, my ex-wife? What happened?
She's giving statements to various news organizations, and she is acting like you know those people who go on TikTok and they pretend like they're cartoon characters?
Kid.
Yes.
Yeah,
and they talk like this and they bounce around. She's going like, well, wouldn't it be really crazy if Donald Trump got indicted? And you're like, what's wrong with you? Are you having a seizure right now?
She's absolutely a furry on the weekend.
Let's play some. I want to watch. I haven't seen. I've seen pictures of this girl.
Brother,
I
now
don't have the video, but I'll have to find the video.
This is going to blow your mind if we can find it, because this chick is.
Oh my God, my
special.
sleep demon looks just awful. Oh my God.
Oh no.
How many people was this so long?
Look at her eyes.
It's not a short list. So we're talking about.
Oh, look at her. I feel bad for her.
I would say that. Yes.
Okay. Are these recognizable names that people would know?
There are certainly names that you would recognize. I'm not going to speak on exact indictments.
Would we be surprised? Are there bombshells of who is being recommended for indictment?
I don't think that there are any giant plot twists coming. I don't think that there are any giant. That's not the way I expected this to go at all. I don't think that's in store for anyone.
Ugh.
So
What's
nothing
wrong
that
with
would
these people?
surprise
She sounds
people who are
terrified
following
that
this.
if she says the wrong thing, she'll be canceled.
Probably not. I wouldn't want to characterize anyone else's reaction, of course.
You see how she's doing that
but-
weird bouncing?
Yes.
So that was when we heard a lot in testimony.
Well, she's
But
toying with a felony.
Probably not. It probably wouldn't shock
By
me.
talking about
Did
it?
you personally want to hear from the former
I
president?
wanted to hear from the former president, but
I would get to
honestly,
swear him
I
in.
kind
Listen.
of wanted to subpoena the former president because I got to swear everybody in. And so I thought it'd be really cool to get 60 seconds with President Trump of me looking at him and being like, do you solemnly swear? And me getting to swear him in. I kind of just
wanted
thought
to
that
do
would
it.
be an awesome moment.
And apparently she had an ice cream, a Looney Tunes pop or something. Those are really good, by the way. You go to the ice cream man and it's like shaped like Bugs Bunny or whatever. It's got the gumball eyes.
Oh, yeah.
But apparently the DA, I'm hearing she had like an ice cream party and they gave her ice cream. And then she was swearing in grand jurors while eating some Looney Tunes popsicle or something.
She's got really kid, very young vibes.
She's 30.
Yeah,
she's
but
30. And did you see her do the thing where she went like this and
If you
did
told
that
me she
weird
was 22, I would have believed it.
30 years old.
That's
This is what's wrong with our current generation.
Oh, that's horrifying.
Now I'll say this: what she just did with all these interviews in this media circus thing, I mean, they got to try and indict Trump, but that seriously just destroyed the image of prosecuting Donald Trump for anything. And so, this is what the Newsweek article is basically saying, that there's a legal expert saying it's giving credence to Trump's claim that it's a witch hunt. They're saying it's not going to end the prosecution, but ultimately it will be up to the DA to decide whether to move forward with charges, not the grand jury. The grand jury just basically refers or recommends or doesn't. So clearly, if they do indict Trump, there is now going to be a presumption. There's going to be reasonable doubt. Are these charges legitimate? Because the whole premise of them is this seemingly unwell woman,
Putting it nicely,
and clearly anti-Trump. And so the question is, was this a real grand jury indictment referral, or are they just trying to go after Trump and they're making it up?
I just don't know how a woman like that would make it onto a jury. It feels like she would have been flagged.
Well, I think in a grand jury, you don't actually have any defense. So I don't think that Trump's people were allowed to decide who was on the grand jury. I think. If that's the case, that would make a lot of sense.
Have you guys remember this? We talked about it before. Here, I pull this up on Reddit. What's up with these TikToks where people move like cartoon characters? Super out of the loop here, to the point where I watch TikTok clips on YouTube and don't have an account. I'm seeing a lot of this one particular style that seems to be associated with cosplay and anime, where people move their bodies and faces in a specifically animated way. I think Seamus was talking about this because you learned this in school, the 12 points of animation or something like that. And my understanding was they intentionally make them move in a crazy way because they're not alive, and they're missing tons of depth in their motion and presence. So if they just sat there and talked like a regular person, you'd be missing all kinds of facial movements, and it's like it's bland. So they have them bounce and move their mouths in weird ways. And I think what's happening is, when we were younger, most of the communication we consumed came from human beings. And now what we're consuming is coming from cartoons and movies. So people like her grow up watching Disney and Pixar, where the characters talk like this and move around and shake their heads and go like that. And that's what she picks up. And she begins to identify with that and behave in that way. And then most people who still don't have that kind of twitch are watching this going like, why are you doing that? She's probably the product of a parent who put her in front of the TV and then left.
Yeah.
That's tragic.
Same thing with furries too.
The way I view it, it's Donald Trump should be furious with Ronald Reagan because Reagan allowed the insane asylums to be shut down. And if he hadn't, then this woman would still be in there.
Did Reagan allow them to be shut down, or did he actually shut them down?
I don't remember.
I remember they were shut down, though, at some point.
Barely
in the
alive.
80s. Yeah. My parents worked at a mental institution. That's where they met.
Oh, no kidding.
They got married at a mental institution in a chapel there, yeah.
That's so romantic.
Falls View. Yeah, it was
Interesting.
Yeah, my dad there's one guy used to chew on the side of the bed out of like just nervous rage. And
You are an eternal well of interesting stories, Ian.
Take a look at this video. This is a very old video, but we've talked about it before. This is like a trend where these people do this thing. And I can understand for someone like her, right? She's doing a performance. Yeah. She's playing it sped up. She recorded it slowly so she can get the motions right or whatever. And there's a bunch of these videos where I guess she's famous for doing this thing where she makes Pixar-like faces. Mm-hmm. But this is resulting in real young people doing this weird thing.
Yep.
And behaving in this way.
Up until they're 30 and sitting on grand juries for a former president. Yeah. That's a responsibility these lunatics shouldn't have.
Yo, but this is the next generation. It's not about this one person.
We're going to have a president that does that.
Yep. That's right.
Like, we are going to war.
Well, hello there, friends. Let me tell you about why I decided to nuke China. And you're going to be like, why are you doing that? You're freaking me out. And be like, well, I'm just trying to bring some levity to the situation. I'm blowing up a country here. I think that we're going to have a large we're watching the decay happen. Mm-hmm. And I wonder if it has to do with just very simply, we consume media from too many different sources. So humans used to be socially conditioned by other humans, but now that we have the internet, humans are socially conditioned by randomness on the internet, chaos, algorithms, machine learning, nonsense. There are some kids who will watch nothing but like My Little Pony, and then they get older and they become like bronies. Or whatever. Yeah, and then there's people like, I think furries identify with, I can't speak for every single furry, but they dress up like cartoon animals, like Looney Tunes. You know, so I imagine when they were little, they were probably put in front of the TV, and their whole social interaction, lack thereof, was just watching cartoon animals, anthropomorphized animals. So now that they're older, they want to dress and identify that way.
Video games too, Final Fantasy X, stuff like that. You play as like a cat man with a tail, you know.
And it was
or 9.
Who was it? Jeff Younger, I think. He was mentioning that, that's his name, right? Jeff Younger?
Yes.
Yeah. He was mentioning that kids also play video games where they'll play as a female character or girls will play as a male character and then start to identify that as them and things of that nature.
Well, I think that a lot of this actually goes to Pete Buttigieg's defense, and I don't like to defend the dude, but if you have an entire generation of young people that are coming up in this worldview where the algos are messing with their brains and they're just being raised by movies and cartoons and stuff, and then they have to go make a living and they're responsible for like vital infrastructure. Like
she's a witch. Someone super chatted this. They said they found her Pinterest and she's a witch. I Googled it. She's a witch.
Incredible.
Yeah, her bonkers Pinterest account, which promotes witchcraft.
Promoting witchcraft does not make you a witch. Practicing witchcraft does. Does she practice?
Thank you for clarifying.
Let's go.
That was a 20. Yes, that is technically the truth.
Thank you very much.
Literally the truth.
Oh, so is this like an ad for us to read about how to become a witch? We're going to learn how to become a witch today?
She's totally into witchcraft.
Oh yeah, I want to learn.
One of my
offering bowl,
the pentagram, you know.
Charlie Kirk says Emily Corr is the foreperson on the Trump grand jury in Georgia, really putting the witch in witch hunt.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're in a simulation. I'm sorry. You can't. I'm sorry. We're in a simulation.
Can you go back up to the first picture?
You're not going to convince me this is that all of this is just like random chance.
Moon
that Trump is
ritual.
like, it's a witch hunt, and then they actually have a jury 4 person who's a witch.
And
Like,
that's
come
who they
on,
choose
man.
to interview. And that's
incredible.
who they chose to interview, too.
We live in it.
I've been
We live
thinking
in
about
simulation.
paganism a lot lately. We talk about the Native Americans and why the colonists, the Puritans didn't consider them human. They thought they were savage. They were all they were pagan. They didn't have the monolith of one god,
Right.
of the monotheism thing. And so is paganism inherently evil? Does paganism inherently breed chaos, destruction, blood magic, things like that? I don't
Look,
know.
look, look, look,
I don't want to
Slytherin.
demonize
Look at this picture.
paganism.
She's Slytherin. She
But
has
also,
her house from
see what she's doing
the
with her face?
Wizard show.
See what she's doing with her face?
I see people-
Christine Blasey Ford and Peter Strzok did that too.
Yeah.
It's the cartoon villain thing.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch a cartoon and the villain goes, and like their head tilts down and they look up. I have no idea why that gesture somehow symbolizes villainy, but it does apparently.
Yeah.
What about tilting your head forward and looking up is villainous? But we associate those things. So when these people are doing this, do they think they're the bad guys? Are they trying to be the baddies?
No,
Yeah,
I
she
think
is a
that they're
Slytherin.
maybe they're
I mean,
like yeah,
Slytherin with the Nazis.
Slytherin
With the
is-
Nazis, she that proves it.
They strike me as the bad guys, but I just remembered where I was stealing my point from. It's one of my Twitter buddies, Cernovich. He has made this point, like, we don't have the mental capacity to fill all of these vitally important jobs moving forward. Like, we don't have people that are going to school for it. So I really don't know what we're going to do.
I think that-
Look at this. That's her.
Oh my
What
God.
happened?
What the heck?
There's a video that's going viral where it's a girl and it's multiple photos and just a TikTok she posted. And the first one, she's thin with long brown hair and she's wearing like a uniform with a tie.
I know what you're talking
Then the
about.
next one, she's like smiling in a picture. And then the last one is her fat with the sides of her head shaved and a weird haircut.
Yeah,
and she's singing. And then a guy just goes, "What happened?"
Is she? So that's what she used to look like. And now
Yeah.
she has like whatever Jacinda had.
Did this
where she
guy
turns
hurt
into
her?
Gollum slowly over time. Look at it.
Just Jacinda
Did
Ardern.
this guy?
Yes,
Who's this guy right
Jacinda
here?
Ardern.
Did he hurt her? Is that what happened?
I think college did.
Bro, she was
Yeah.
hurt long ago.
College.
Yeah, it
They-
it
they-
seems like college.
She
It's
looks
always
like she
college.
aged down. Like she looks like
Yeah.
she got younger.
I mean, that could
probably
be
got
her.
healthy.
that could be the witchcraft.
That could be
though.
her at 10, or it could be her today. I have no idea.
I don't know. She looks like she looks like a witch.
Lost
You know
some
what I mean?
weight, got a little healthier.
Like when I think of witch,
Little
that
less
actually
healthy
is like
mentally.
looks like kind
And
of like
I mean,
that, you know?
Slytherin, they're wizards, witches,
Witches.
right? Yeah,
and they're the
yeah.
Nazis.
Yeah.
they're
They're
the white supremacists of the wizarding world.
That's right.
Does witchcraft entail blood magic? Is that inherent in witchcraft?
I
Usually, yeah.
do
me.
think wasn't there a scene in the Harry Potter movie where they sacrifice a chicken and drink its blood?
There's
Cast
something where
spells?
they, they
I'm
have
kidding.
to.
I don't know if they actually did.
No,
that.
no,
have no
no.
idea.
There is one thing where they have to drink something that's pretty gross. I can't remember if it was blood.
Yeah, there's a lot of witches.
I don't
like
think they
using
drink blood.
Eye of
I don't
Newt,
think they drink blood
Like
in it.
putting animals in a cauldron, so there's like blood involved in their potions.
I think
Not
the
all-
drinking blood is usually Satanism. I could be wrong, though.
the dark blackness of witchcraft. Like
People are saying meth. In order to cast the spell, we
I
need
mean,
some.
I'm seeing meth now. Now that you mention it,
I've been around some meth addicts, and she's got the characteristics.
yeah, I could see some.
Look,
meth there.
look. You know, Matt Walsh has convinced me to be meaner to a lot of these people, so I'll accept that and I'll say, okay, fine. You know,
Welcome
sure,
to the
whatever.
team, Tim.
But I think drugs might be an actual answer.
Oh, for sure.
her weird behavior.
There could
and her
be.
like,
I almost think that there's some sort of psychosis. The way that the mannerisms are kind of like schizoid almost.
it's like the Joker.
Yeah.
Remember in the Dark Knight when Harvey Dent kidnaps the schizophrenic guy who tried shooting, or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And then Batman shows up and he's like, it's a paranoid schizophrenic from Arkham. What are you going to learn from him? Joker preys on these people. That's the thing. You want a grand jury to indict.
Mm-hmm.
You want grand jurors who will say or do whatever you tell them to do. I bet they gave her the ice cream and then they were like, okay, we're going to give you ice cream. And now,
she was
do as you're
really.
told.
She got the really important job too. They gave her the really.
She gave her the
important job.
foreperson. Can you imagine?
Yeah, that's the foreperson. Like they really.
What the hell's happening?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
know.
like,
Well,
like
and-
even if you were like just a respectable attorney, you'd have to say to yourself, like,
Ninja Turtles. Sorry, guys. It was a Ninja Turtles popsicle.
Okay.
Yo, I'm legit
Okay.
jealous.
That's.
Thank you for clarifying.
I want a Ninja Turtles popsicle.
We're all about
I
the
think-
truth here.
How do we order that? Can you order this stuff? Because it'll melt. won't
I
it?
bet Amazon's got it. You could
Yeah, but it'll,
dry freeze it over.
Good Lord.
yeah,
I'll try.
Yeah.
That'd be great
Packet.
to get a whole bunch of Ninja Turtles popsicles
Absolutely.
for the
different
castle.
flavors depending on the
Yeah.
headband color.
I hope they're like the creamy ones that are like cherry and vanilla. and they have the gumdrop eyeballs.
Oh, yeah.
I like those ones.
I was thinking about what you just said about how Matt Walsh has encouraged you to be mean, to at least embrace
To bad
meanness.
people.
What's that?
To bad people.
To be mean to bad people. I think you can be mean without being cruel. That came up last night. We were talking a little bit about
That's what I'm
it.
saying. Be academic about it. It's actually meaner to be academic about
Exactly. It's just undeniable. It's not emotional.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
No, but like you can make it emotional, but you just say it in a verbose way, and it's more insulting to do.
Mm-hmm.
I learned that from Milo.
Yes.
He's very good at it.
Milo's incredible at that.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening now, Clint, to answer your question. Why is this happening? I think maybe people are checked out. There's a lot of rich people that I think are like just trying to live the life on their boat and be like, I made it. I don't want to deal with this. The world's always fucked anyway.
Right. Well, honestly, I think it's so daunting. Many people are just saying to themselves, like, I'm going to check out for my own mental health. Like, I can't look at this all day. I can't understand all of the problems of the track that we're on right now. Like, World War III is a distinct possibility, and we don't really talk about it in the serious way that we ought to. Like, it is imminently possible that we have a multi-front world war in the coming 6 months. Like that could happen. Does anybody think that was even a possibility? Like, yeah, they lied about it being a possibility under Trump, but this is actually happening, and they have the American people so psychologically manipulated that they think that they're the good guys. That they're like, yeah, we're just gonna rock with Ukraine. We're gonna have inflation that's running rampant. We have all this mental health crisis that we're dealing with people like this, and we're all on team good because we rock with Ukraine, and we've been told that defending democracy is the proper thing to do. Sure, Ukraine isn't actually a democracy. It doesn't really matter. It's just narrative. That's all it is. And no one pays attention. No one takes it seriously. But I get it. I understand why people can't take it seriously. Because if they did, they'd be horrified.
A lot of people are pointing out it's called the Kubrick stare.
Yeah.
When you tilt your head down and look up, it's the Kubrick stare. Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.